All right, the Shakedown Cruise has some good news and some bad news. Hold on tight, here we go. All right, we're finally off to a start. What time is it, Noel?
It's about 2:30, I think.
About 2:30?
2:50, actually.
All right, 3 o'clock. Getting started. We have about a 10 to 12 hour trip. This is the Clinton River. So we have a short little hop down this. Then we'll jump into Lake St. Clair. And then the Detroit River and into Lake Erie. And now for the bad news. That little clip that you just watched is all I have left of a 10.5 hour trip from Sailor's Cove on the Clinton River through Lake St. Clair, down the Detroit River, all the way through Lake Erie, back to the west end to Toledo Beach Marina, which is my home port. I took great footage the whole way. We had not the greatest conditions. It was blowing a solid 20. And of course, if you're going on a trip, where's the wind coming from? Right on your nose. And that's what we had for most of the trip. But once we got into Lake St. Clair, we went off course for a while. I did want to test the rig and the sails. 20 mile an hour steady was a great way to do that. Threw a couple reefs in the main and let the Genoa out, and we were definitely overpowered, but that's okay. It's a 150 Genoa. It's a lot of sail, but it really tested the rig, and she held up well. Then we put the head sail back in and just left the main up for stability and motored the rest of the way home. Iron Jenny held up beautifully. All in all, it was such a great trip. Going down the Detroit River, there were a lot of great little landmarks that I pointed out. Yeah, so sad that I missed all that because I've lost the footage. But the great news is the boat held up well. I do want to give a big thanks to my friend Noel. Wouldn't have been able to make the trip without him. He's been sailing basically his whole life. Yeah, thanks, Noel. Really appreciate it. Later in the season, I'll be doing a boat tour of his tour. You already saw a little bit of it. That was the first boat I sailed on this season. You know, it's great to have friends like him. So, again, Noel, thank you. And unfortunately, guys, that's it for this week. I had a lot of great footage I'd have loved to share with you. One thing that happened along the way, we were going down the Detroit River, and the Coast Guard helicopter kept going back and forth on the river, and we were a little, wondering what was going on, and we saw a couple guys in a boat, a couple Coast Guard guys sitting in a boat. Well, unfortunately, they came over the radio and they were looking for a body. So my prayers go out to that person and their family. So yeah, it was a pretty eventful trip, really. And like I said, all you're getting is the narrative of the trip. So next week should be an interesting week on my channel. It's Memorial Day weekend, and what I've done is let the kids take the channel over. I didn't get my whole family down, but I was able to get 3 of the 4 kids and my wife. And of course, we replaced the one that didn't make it with 3 more. Yeah, so there were 8 of us down there. So anyway, we had a really good time, and I just kind of stepped back, and the kids just completely took the channel over. So, show those guys some love and watch it and give it some thumbs up so, you can make their day. I appreciate it. So yeah, stay tuned for that next week.